Hi everybody, I hope you're having a nice Thursday so far. It's been a while. If you've not been to my stream before, hi, I'm Emily. This is my second channel where I do video game streams. I have a main Twitch channel where I do music streams. That's what I've been focusing on lately because I've been practicing my audition rep. I'm gonna go ahead and apologize for being away for so long. While I was getting away from my audition, I was also working on my setup, and for a while didn't have a version that worked for my main channel streams and second channel streams. I was trying to figure out how to merge the two together, and I didn't have this problem with my main channel stream earlier because the sun was up, but my lighting is a little funny right now. I'm just going to deal with it for today, and I'm going to try and improve it for tomorrow's stream. But let's go ahead and get started. I had to look up where we left off because my brain has just been filled with other things, and I was happy to see I had left us off right here, just having just gotten to Orzammar and not having yet started to explore it. So that's what we're going to do today. Also, if you were not in my main channel stream, I have had a kind of a crazy week.
These must be the statues of the dwarven paragons.
And if you want to know more about that, you can watch that stream that I did earlier today over on my main channel. But basically, like, I'm a little bit mentally and physically exhausted today. So if I end stream a little early, I hope you won't be too mad at me. I'm not planning to end like super early, but like if we get to a point where like we're just at like a good like stopping point for tonight, then I might end it a bit early just to take it easy on myself, and hopefully tomorrow be back to stream schedule like normal on both channels, normal flow, like all that sort of thing.
I haven't eaten in days.
Is that I have changed up content on main channel a little bit this week. Check wasn't today, that's happening tomorrow instead.
Show some pity for a poor old man.
I guess you can't give them like money like you can in games like Skyrim. You can give like the beggars a gold piece or something.
If only you had come at a less troubled time.
Now that's a thing of beauty, daughter. If you work hard like Branka, all Orzammar will know your name.
Mother, I don't want to be like her.
Don't say that. Not to me, not to anyone. Now get back to the forge. I want to see more details.
Yes, Mother.
She doesn't have a face.
It shall be done.
Show some pity for
As you say.
Poor old man.
The statues are cool, but they don't really have a lot of detail on their faces.
It is begun.
I can't decide if I think that's creepy or not. That they like kind of have a face, but not a lot of detail. I was just thinking they look different, but they kind of like a little bit remind me of the statues in Mass Effect 3 in the Temple of, oh crap, what's the name of the sorry, goddess? Is it Athene? Something like that. I can't remember what it is. I'll think of it like an hour after I finish stream. But they remind me of that a little bit, like the style. But I mean, it's not really. They're not the same, but you get what I'm saying.
It is the Assembly who makes a king, and a king who nominates his successor. None of it is carried in the blood.
Or, as now, when someone tries using the Assembly to pull a coup. Who's to say what my father said in his final hours, when the usurper Harrowmont was the only one by his side?
I'll have you thrown in prison.
You've bitten off more than you can chew!
Handlers, separate these dashers in the diamond quarter. I will not have Balin incite a riot.
Do not speak that way about the man who should be king!
That seems like a little bit of a harsh punishment for someone who just disagreed. Oh, I have like injuries. I am deafened, and I have a cracked skull, so I'm guessing I didn't really hear any of that.
Vieta, Surfacer. I'm bid to let you walk the commons, but keep your place. Warden or not, I want order. Surface problems. Well, we have no king to hear you. You can join the shouting at the assembly in the Diamond Quarter if you want. Bunch of Desher lords bickering over sand. Balin, Harrowmont. Is one so different? No paragons here. They've caged themselves for fear of each other. As you've seen, keeping order down among us working people is dodgy. No place for a proper lord. Balin speaks through his second, Vartag Gavorn, in the Assembly. Lord Harrowmont speaks through Dulin Ferender from his estate. Surfacers appoint no paragons? Truly, you're lost in all that sky. They are the best of us, declared living ancestors. If you must be our warden, at least know us. Go to the Shaper of Memories in the Shaperate, the true bright spot in the Diamond Quarter. See, that's why I don't want you surfacers seeing our worst. You'll think that's all we are. The market is thin, but busy, and the tavern never closes. Bad blood is usually kept to the proving. Should toss Balin and Harrowmont in there, sort this all out in a hurry.
Sorry for the yawn. I did tell you all I was tired, but I'm going to do my best not to, like, ruin stream by just yawning constantly. I did have coffee this afternoon to try and help perk me up for my streams, but, like, I think it barely took the edge off. It didn't really help all that much. I just need to sleep.
Personal battles for honor and ancestor. I don't expect a surfacer to understand. If you must be our warden, at least know us. Go to the Shaper of Memories in the Shaperate, the true bright spot in the Diamond Quarter. Yes, you should.
I need to move this headphone cable because it's bothering me. There we go. Well, it doesn't look bad. No, you can't see it. Okay, I just needed to get it. I put it over my music stand because it was just in the way of my wrist while I was trying to use the keyboard. Something weird I noticed, I got little USB extension cables for my keyboard and my mouse, and I guess I hadn't really spent much time using my computer since I put them, and installed seems like too much of, so the wrong word, I connected them, I guess, that's the right word. But like, when I sat down to use it today, my mouse was moving like really slow. I turned the speed like all the way up on it, and now it feels like it's back to normal. Is that something that can happen? That like just adding an extension cable would make the mouse run slower? I don't know. Now I'm like, is it dirty? I had this like 90s kid moment of like, do I need to clean the little ball? Don't do that anymore. It's not a thing anymore. I used to do that. I used to take like, whenever our computer at home started, like the mouse started like having issues, take it out and get like a wet wipe, like a rubbing alcohol wipe, and have to clean it to make sure it wasn't sticky anymore and clean the inside. Not a problem anymore. Do I need to go in here right now? I don't think I do just yet. I think I'm getting ahead of myself. No, I don't need to go here. This is the proving ground. I need to go to the what's that called? I just read it. The assembly hall. There we go. Pretty normal week, but rehearsals and 2 concerts, that's a lot. That's how it goes with like performances in college, especially. There's like weeks of nothing, just class and normal rehearsals, and then all of a sudden like everything has a performance the same week. I don't know why that happens. Why are we all just like here? You know, you can move. Move freely, please. I'm just gonna wander and hope they catch up. We'll explore this area for a little bit before we go find the assembly hall. Wall carving.
It shall be done.
Oh, it's armor. I thought there was just a dead body just laying there, just cuz. This is a shop. It'd be a weird thing to sell.
Welcome to Jannar Family Armorers. I must say, you look like our type of people. Looking for a new set of mail. At Jannar's, we have everything from leather to platinum.
Maybe it was, I don't know, it seems fine now. All I did was turn up the speed and the settings, but everything seemed plugged in the way it's supposed to. I'm going to double check it tomorrow and make sure everything's good. Or for non-music people, test syncing up on the same week. I guess that makes sense too. Or I don't know if you can have Andrew, I don't know if your work of this is possible, but I know when you've got multiple clients, I guess it's possible to have multiple deployments on the same week, unless your boss or you or whoever makes those decisions decides just not to double book like multiple deployments in the same week.
I stay out of politics. It's not good for a smith to get the attention of those who grant vendors licenses. Lord Harrowmont's a fair man. My father did business with him, and he always paid on time. But the Idukans have served us well. If it is the ancestors' wisdom to keep them on the throne, I cannot object. Aye, for 100 generations. My father made his name by inventing a fall and tacit, which were integrated into the cuirass. But, I'm guessing by your face you're not a smith yourself. Of course. Keep in mind we also take items on trade.
I don't remember how much, like, inventory management I did last time I played, so I assume I need to do some. But I also probably need to collect health potions from whoever has them. You've done multiple deployments in the same week? You know, Andrew and I do talk about this kind of stuff, like, in person, but, like, I just am really, well, I've just been busy lately, so I have with anything, I have difficulty, like, keeping in my head information for things, like, I can't visualize or have a frame of reference for, and I have no idea what it's like to, like, deploy software or launch a website or any of that kind of stuff. So when people talk about doing that, like, I just don't, like, I have trouble retaining that information because I don't know what it's like. I guess someone tells me they've played a gig of some kind, like, even if I haven't played that exact same gig, I can kind of, like, picture it. Oh, it's been a while since that happened. I don't remember you saying that you had, like, multiple deployments at once in a while, but, like, I can, because that's what I do, I can kind of, like, picture, get my head in, like, that frame of mind, and can, like, then internalize, okay, well, that takes, like, this amount of effort, or, like, this amount of time, you know, more or less. But with, like, the computer stuff, I just don't know. So, like, someone can say something and I'm like, is that good? Is that bad? Did that take a while? Is that, like, clicking a button? Like, I just really don't know. I do try to learn, but I have trouble just, like, as, like, keeping it, like, straight in my head. Let's see. Maybe I should, before I sell that armor, I'm going to go through and see if Sten needs any upgrades. But first, oh, he doesn't have any potions, really. Okay, let's check everybody else's inventory. I need to get some injury kits because I'm injured twice over. Oh, so is Sten. None of us are doing great, are we? So let's see. The armor he's got on is better. And well, this is better, I think, than what he has, even though that has a critical chance, but it's just 3%. Let's change it out for this. And Liliana can't use Marjolaine's bow just yet. She's using that's right, she's using a crossbow, but I was considering changing her back to normal, like a normal bow instead of a crossbow. I'm thinking about giving the crossbow to Zevran instead for his backup weapon, but she's just going to keep it for now because she can't use Marjolaine's bow just yet. Oh, I didn't look for Liliana for. No, I don't have any armor she can wear anyway. Okay.
A Trastvala, stranger. Here for armor or conversation?
We'll talk to him after I finish inventory
keep in mind,
things.
We also take items on trade.
So I'm going to hold that because I like to give Wynn the Battle Mage perk because I feel like that beefs her up as a healer, like helps keep her safe, helps her deal some damage, but also heal us. Let's get rid of that. Hold on to that. That's one. I think this will be good for Sten. He just can't use it yet. And then We'll get rid of that because I think the armor he has is better. But hold on to that. I can't remember if that's better than the shield that Alistair has, so we'll hold on to that for now as well. Okay. I think that's enough. Now we'll talk to him.
You called.
Oh, not Sten. Sorry, Sten.
As you wish.
I'll talk to you. Jennifer, that's his name.
A Trust Valar, stranger. Here for armor or conversation? I stay out of politics.
Oh, I asked him that already.
It's not good for a smith to get the attention of those who grant vendors licenses. Lord Harriman's a fair man. My father did business with him, and he always paid. But the Idukans have served us well.
Okay, so we've already done all
You're
these.
welcome back if you change your mind. And you needn't bring a lot of coin. We also accept items in trade.
I think we're doing okay for money at the moment. Okay, not great, but we have enough, I think, to restock health potions if we can find somebody that sells them. Is that something I can interact with? Oh, no, it's just win.
You're quite taken with each other, aren't you?
Oh, we're talking about this now? Yeah, we haven't exactly been subtle. Leliana and I have been talking in like, I guess, flirting in the middle of camp, so I'm sure everybody... There's not a lot going on. It's not like the group has Netflix, so everybody's been paying attention and probably gossiping about us.
I've seen the way she looks at you, the familiarity with which you speak, how she always finds a way to place herself next to you. I've noticed your blossoming relationship, and I wanted to ask you where you thought it was going. Leliana is a remarkable girl, sincere and guileless, and she has opened her heart to you. I would not like to see her hurt. You are a Grey Warden. You have responsibilities which supersede your personal desires. Love is ultimately selfish. It demands that one be devoted to a single person who may fully occupy one's mind and heart to the exclusion of all else. A Grey Warden cannot afford to be selfish. You may be forced to make a choice between saving your love and saving everyone else. And then what would you do? Nothing is certain. Not in these times. You cannot take anything for granted. I want you to be aware of this. I am just trying to minimize the suffering that may come to either of you. I have given my advice. Do with it what you will.
She's trying to help. She's trying to mom us, basically. Alright, I think we've done everything there is to do here. We'll just keep exploring this part. I forget what they call this part of Orzammar, but we'll finish exploring here before we start going to the, I think it's called the Diamond Quarter. That's where the assembly hall is.
I'm safe.
Don't think these are doors we can go in. No.
I'm sorry. Did you have an offering for the ancestors? Although, I can't imagine your ancestors reside in the stone. My name is Vilda, widow of Turok of the Smith caste. I pray here every day for my son, Ruck. I only wish I knew whether I should be asking for his safe return or for the ancestors to accept his soul. It was 5 years ago. He was only a youngster. He joined a Deep Roads excursion, the only smith to go with the warriors to repair their arms. He was so proud, but he got separated somehow. When they came home, he wasn't with them. How? There is no way except to brave the deep roads yourself. Warden, so you could do it. Only wardens face the deep roads without a company backing them. Oh, thank you. The ancestors finally heed my prayers.
Take heart, good widow Vilda. We'll do our best.
Please, find me as soon as you return.
Talk to him?
Wow, I've never seen an elf before. You're sort of skinny and strange, aren't you?
I don't think that's polite. I mean, yes, these things are true, but I don't think you're supposed to just say them.
Did you see that fight? In the old days, those men would have been told to join the Legion of the Dead. At least then they'd put that anger to good use. But not these days.
Topsiders? Good. Get some outside gold in here. Calm people down. Make them think we should open the gates for good. The more cracks in the old way, the better. That's what Balin stands for.
I really like the dwarf storyline because I like when like fantasy or sci-fi, but like stories, video games, whatever, when they explore like political themes. I feel like they're, for a lot of people, like exploring like different political ideas or social ideas, like in fiction, like in fantasy or in, you know, a video game setting or whatever. It helps like helps you like kind of think through like the different sides and see things differently, because it's not real, you know, but like real issues, but in a fictional setting, I guess. So I really like seeing that in stories because it kind of sometimes it helps me like see things in a different way. But that's what I really like about the dwarf storyline, because it's kind of this like political and like progressive thinking versus like more traditional thinking, which I think are very relatable, like conflicting or contrasting concepts, and finding a balance between the two. But when the first time I played this game series, I actually did the dwarf noble backstory. So I don't know why. I think at the time I was playing a brand new game. It's like, you know, I've never really played as like a dwarf character in anything before, so let me do that. So I played as a dwarf noble. So I had a very different perspective when I got to this part of the game versus like the perspective you get coming at it from like the other angle, from not having played that backstory. So maybe I'll spoil a little bit of that for you once we get kind of toward the end of this part of the storyline. But I just made this whole experience very different for me. I feel like the others, if you play that background, it doesn't really change the main story event too much. Like if you play the human noble origin, then like you get more insight into how like Arhal is an awful person, but I feel like you already know that anyway. If you play the game, you find out like he's helping Logain, like he's not a good guy. He's making a power grab. If you play like the mage background, then like I don't feel like you really get a whole lot in terms of like context or world building. I mean, you get a different perspective maybe on Jowan, but like that's not quite as like broad as with this one. And then if you play like the Dalish backstory, I actually think makes the best tie-in to like the overarching story between each game. And I will also get into that at a later point. And then what am I missing? The City Elf. And then the City Elf, like you get a little bit better context for like the plight of the elves who are not Dalish, the elves that were born into like human settlements and stuff. And which is good world building, but it doesn't really have like a direct impact on the plot like later in the game. So I feel like, and then with the dwarf commoner background, same thing. You get like a little more context, a little more world building, but it's not like you get like a my point is the dwarf noble background. I feel like you can play that and see the Orzammar questline totally differently. So I'll talk about that later, but I highly recommend if you're there are reasons why I prefer, like I said, the Dalish origin or like the mage origin, just for like little reasons. But if you like are playing just this game for the first time and you're not sure if you're gonna play the rest of the series, or maybe you don't like the rest of the series and you just like this one, there are some people that feel that way about the series, that this is the best one and they don't like the others, and you haven't played the dwarf origin, play it, because I just think it's a really interesting way to like be introduced to like this part of the world. And also in subsequent games we don't get a whole lot of dwarf lore, so it's nice to kind of have like that insight into like their society and that sort of, and their structure, their government, their politics.
Not your business, but I see where the gold is. He's the traditional pick, yet he wants a new way, whether some like it or not.
That's like the same vibe as Rex in Mass Effect when he says, I'm going to I'm gonna drag the Krogan into like the mod, or because it's something like I'm gonna bring the. I can't remember the quote now. I'm so tired. Like normally I would be able to quote this without any trouble, but today I'm struggling. Basically something like he's going to like drag the Krogan into a modern society, whether they like it or not, or something like that. It's the same kind of vibe. Like we're gonna progress. We're going to advance, whether you like it or not. And I have like mixed feelings about that kind of worldview. Because it's like Valen's interesting because like he's progressive, he wants to do good things for his people, but like some of his methods are a little like, you know, I guess you have to decide if you're someone who thinks the means or the ends justify the means, you know. But it's anyway, we'll talk about that more like after, like towards the end of this quest line, or like the Orzammar. You know what I'm trying to say. I'm struggling with words today. I need some sleep, so thank you for being patient with me while I try really hard to articulate my thoughts.
Just as many say Harrowmont. Neither are paragons, and the scales being equal, I go with the promise of more trade. Can't find ore without splitting some stone. My investments are solid, I'll be fine. The Assembly has done us a favor. They've shown just how loose the sand is under our feet. It opens people to change. Orzammar will decide what we can or can't be. Blight may be imminent on the surface, but our warriors are well seasoned against dark spawn. There will be topsiders left for trade. There's no end to you.
Okay. There's no... Well, I guess to a dwarf that would make sense, because the dwarf kingdom, I think, used to be, like, very big in this world. Like, in the past, like, there were so many cities connected by, like, the different roadways. And now I believe in the point we're at now, what is, for us, modern Thedas / Orlais, or... Yeah, Theta, that's the country. So, Ferelden. So that's what I meant. Again, I'm going to mess up. I'm so tired. Orzammar is, I think, technically in Ferelden. Anyway, there used to be this large network of dwarven cities connected by the underground, the deep roads, the underground roadways. But now there are only, like, 2 active cities. So I can understand the perspective of, like, their population is significantly smaller than it was historically. So they feel like all the people who live topside, as they say, there's, like, way more of them. Oh, yeah, let's get a shot.
I'll take your gold. You're good for that.
Please have health potions. I need health potions. Ooh, well, I don't have enough money for that. How do I... Let's see. Oh, here it is. I've been looking for how to do this. How to compare the gear to somebody else's. I feel like right now, like, Wynn's fine in her robes for the moment. Oh, wait, let me look at those for me. But I feel like Sten and Leliana could use some better gear to make them a little sturdier, I guess. Ooh, a chance to avoid missile attacks. I feel like that would be good for Wynn, because she's the healer. She needs to be protected, but like it could be good for me as well. I don't know, let's look and see what else. Oh, they're gifts. Well, I know that's for Leliana. Those I think are for anybody. I forget who that's for, I'll have to look it up. And I think I know who that's for, but I'll have to look it up to be sure. And that would be for Shale. Using all my money to buy gifts for people. Why can't we just have health potions? Health potions are good. I can sell that. I don't think I need those for anything. Okay.
Maker's blessing on you, sister. I'm Brother Burkle of the Red Cliff Chantry, returned to my ancestors' land to spread the chant of light. I'm petitioning to open a chantry in Orzammar.
You're calling me tangenty? You know what? Maybe so. Maybe because it's gonna take me longer to figure out how to say things correctly today. But, sorry. That happens sometimes. Sometimes I just, you know, I don't know. I was gonna say, maybe when I'm tired, I'm more likely to get distracted and go off on a tangent. I feel like that's probably true. That's probably true.
The Shaper it controls changes in Orzammar's structure and society. I need the Shaper of Memory's permission to open a prayer meeting. The Shaper of Memories controls the Shaperate, Orzammar's record system. Like the Chantry's historians, but more thorough. They track the births and lineage of every dwarf born in the city, every property sale, death in battle, marriage, or divorce. The Shaperette is in the prime tier of the city, near the royal estate. Does this mean you will help me then? I can see the Maker's hand on your shoulder, guiding you always. Please let me know as soon as you've heard anything.
I feel like Wynn's being a little bit too proactive with these spells right now, but like it's fine. Do we want to go to Dusttown now? I can't remember if they're like quests we need to pick up here. I think we're gonna wait because we'll need to go to Dusttown later. Let's go to the bar or tavern, pub.
Very well.
It's a tavern, Tapster's Tavern.
I once drank a thimble of dwarven ale, woke up a week later in Jada wearing nothing but my shoes and a towel.
At least she kept her shoes.
I trust Vala, stranger. You must be the Grey Warden we heard about. Welcome to Tapster's. I'm Cora, your hostess. How may I serve you? So you come to Tapster's? I guess you're not asking for anything official, or you'd be at the Shaperate. But I can certainly give you a mole's eye view. The nobles stay upstairs, except when they're slumming. You'll find the assembly there, the palace, the Shaperate, and plenty of estates. Down from here is just Dusttown or the mines, so my recommendation is avoid. It's not part of the city, just some old tunnels where the castless build their nest. No one goes there if they can help it. But if you want fun, your best bet is the Proving. It's a chance for all the best fighters in Orzammar to test their skills. There's a tournament today. Arenas between here and the Diamond Quarter. A Grey Warden is always welcome in Tapster's.
Wayne, I need to look at your tactics because you keep casting a lot of spells when we are doing absolutely nothing. What is that spell? Oh, it's that heroic. We're not being attacked by any kind of attacks. So let's turn that off. Instead, let's see if we can change it to something a little more useful. Yeah, that would be good. Use Stone Fist if someone is attacking her by a ranged attack. And allies being attacked by a ranged attack, let's do regeneration. There we go. That sounds like that will be more useful. Okay.
Told him I don't understand why the provings aren't open to everyone. I mean, it's how the ancestors show their favor. Do they really need our help to decide who's worthy? And then he practically slapped me. Lord Dennick Helmy, honored Desher of the Orzammar Assembly, and terrible disappointment to my esteemed mother, who doesn't like me spending time in taverns. You understand what I'm saying, right? On the surface, there are no castes, and it works fine. Am I right, Warden? But there are those like you who see this with concern, no? Well, I've taken the time to actually talk to the other castes. You know, most smiths and tavern keeps would make decent dashers if we gave them a chance and a seat in the assembly. Orzammar is so mired in tradition, no one bothers asking if the castes are even necessary. Badly. Oh, you're serious? Well, it's simple, I guess. The king and elected dashers of the assembly are at the top. Then it's the nobles. Then the warriors and all the craftsmen. At the bottom are servants. The casteless and criminals are below even that. Your caste is determined by that of your same-sex parent. And that's where you stay your whole life, whatever your skill. Me and 79 other fine, upstanding examples of how someone who's born into every privilege inevitably wants more. They're not fond of my views on equality. I doubt either candidate has been outside the Diamond Quarter in his life. But Lord Harrowmont seems a bit more forgiving. Prince Balin's brilliant, I'll give him that, and subtle as sin. But I don't think anything in Orzammar matters more to him than winning. As you wish.
Oh no, she's still doing it. Why? Okay. Alright, Wynn, do whatever you want.
They're everywhere!
What are you doing?
I can't take it! What? Get away! You'll change like the rest! Monsters hidden in all my friends! They follow you. Once you are in the story, they possess your friends and follow. See? I found copies. All from the same pen, and older than the ones in song. Dormant my arse. Take them. I want out. I won't disappear chasing a lie. I won't.
Okay. They have names. I'm kind of like only looking for named characters because they're usually the only ones we can click on.
Afternoon, stranger. Looking for a stool to share a brew? Name's Naveen. I fight with Prince Balin's Expeditionary Field Unit. Yourself? Figured as much. Good folks, Wardens. I was in the deep roads when that one came by. What was his name? Dukan, Dunka, something like that. I met him, sure. Good man. Solid. He knows what we go through in the deep roads. Not many do. Not even the ones who live this close. You have to be on the front lines. I go where I'm sent, fight when I'm there, and leave politics where it belongs. Darkspawn. Not much use in turning our weapons elsewhere while those vermin still live. Every Grey Warden ends up there. That's where they send you when you're ready to leave this world. Go die in the dark, putting away as many vermin as you can. Getting more crowded these days, though. Lots of people interested all of a sudden. We go back tomorrow, and we're not the only ones. Balin ordered us in at first bell. He's splitting us into 4 teams to search for some of the lost tigers. Looking for signs of Bronca, I guess. Seems to be who everyone's after. Lord Harrowmont's got his own men there, all looking for signs of Bronca. Guess the city's getting to miss having a paragon. Everyone wants someone to put in charge. Bronca was a paragon, some kind of great smith or whatnot. But she went batty and let her whole house into the deep roads more than 2 years ago. No chance she could have survived. And a lot of good men are gonna die looking for her corpse. Excuse me. This brew is starting to taste awful bitter.
When no one's being attacked, we're all actually fine. Okay. Now let's continue exploring. get in there at the moment.
One day the Paragon Branca will return. Oh, and on that day,
there's another merchant somewhere. See this one over here? Yes.
Excuse me, do you have a moment? You look like you're not from around here. Oh, wonderful. I've been trying forever to find someone who really knows the surface world. I don't suppose you've heard of something called the Circle? Then I'm truly honored. I've never met an actual mage. Is it true you can manipulate nature's forces with your mind? Like you were born with lyrium in your veins?
Don't let the glamour fool you, child. Wielding magic is a dangerous occupation, and a great responsibility.
I've been trying to reach someone there for years. I've sent missives with every caravan, but I never get a reply. I want to know if they would accept me for study. I want to go to the Circle to study. I don't want to do magic. No dwarf can cast spells, but I don't see why I shouldn't study it. It would be a valuable exchange. Orzammar would learn of one of the great natural forces of the surface. And the Circle gains direct access to our knowledge of lyrium smithing.
She does talk a little fast. She's just excited. Or like me, when I've had too much coffee and already have a lot on my mind and start talking really fast. Or, I don't know. I don't even know what causes that. I have days where like I have it together and I feel like I can speak coherently. And then I have days where there's just no hope for my words keeping up with my thoughts. And it all just tumbles out and a big mess. And I have to figure out how to make it make sense. But she does talk a little fast, but she's excited. I like Dagna. She's one of my favorite NPCs in the game. She's on the list. I wish, like in general, that the NPCs that we got more like depth and context in general for all of them. But some of them we get a little bit, but I like her. I like the idea of a dwarf who can't do magic, because in this world, in this universe, the dwarves have no connection to the Fade, so they don't dream and they can't perform magic, and that's also why they mine the lyrium, because they're not as affected by it. And but I like the idea of a dwarf character who could never use magic, but is just like fascinated by like the theory and the study and all that kind of stuff. So she's a really cool character.
That would be wonderful. My name is Dagna, daughter of Janar of the Smithcasts. Tell them I've already begun reading the Teventer Imperium's Verticum Kadab, and it's just fascinating. Did you know the Imperial Magister Lords once had genealogies of every human family known to produce a mage child?
She's so enthusiastic and adorable. I'm glad we're helping her.
Oh, I'll go pack my bags right now. I'll be waiting by my father's shop.
So now we'll talk to him. Do you have health potions? Because I've lost the cursor again. That won't help with that. Do you have health potions? Because we need them, because I think we have like one.
Greetings, and welcome to Garen Garrison's luxury goods shop. Wow, there are a lot of you. And I've never seen one of those before. The things they come up with. What was I saying? Oh, I was hoping you wouldn't notice. Most people don't anymore. Or maybe they're too polite to mention it. I had a little incident a few years back. Too much time with the raw lyrium ore, you know. Maybe it was a bad vein. I cut myself and the dust got straight in the blood. Since then, it's been a little hard for me to concentrate. Except when forging. Then I'm straight as an arrow. Best work I've ever seen. Look around the shop. See for yourself. Well, it's the lyrium, you know. Raw blood of the earth. It's more alive than you and me. Most of the time, that's no problem. When it's all bundled up in a piece of steel, it'll leave you alone. But handling the ore directly, sometimes you get burned. It's not just your skin it takes off. It'll burn directly into your mind.
Doesn't sound good.
Aye, of course we are. Weak surfacers like you touch the raw ore, and you'll bleed from your eyeballs in hours. Weird seeing how big you are. Even surface dwarves lose it. Us down here, though, we should be able to handle it just fine. Only not too much, and not every day, and not breathing the dust, and not direct in the blood. Ancestors' own bad luck. Not crazy, just a little forgetful. Don't worry, I'm fine when I work. Just look at my wares. I have the best blades here. Enchanted to hold fire, ice, anything you want to put in it. Right, best in the trade, you know. I work the ore myself.
I just want health potions. What does that do? Oh, that's a good ring, but I don't have nearly enough gold. 87 gold is what I need. Sorry, sorry that was loud. I had to lean in to read it because the numbers are tiny. Oh, it's easier to see like that. But my microphone is right there in front of my screen. So sorry if that was too loud. Oh, we need that. Gotta buy all the gifts so I can buy my friends' affections. Oh, I do have some elf fruit and some flasks, so even though I haven't found any health potions yet, I can make some. There we go. That at least gives us something. I don't remember if there are any fights in the not-too-distant future, but we will be prepared anyway. I really wish they'd put something back here. This is a cool little like alcove. It would have been fun to have an encounter there of some kind, but they didn't put anything. So this should be the Diamond Quarter, which is like where the rich people live in Orzammar. Is there anything up here? No. Talk to you.
Is it true that Surfacer elves are murderers and thieves?
I should just be like, yes. And then walk away. My correct answer, I guess, is not any more so than anybody of any other race.
In Orzammar, undoubtedly to offer assistance to Lord Harrowmont.
Just a random weapon rack that I can take stuff from. Okay, we're not going to go to the Harrowmont house just yet. We need to go to the assembly first.
This has dragged on too long. It's an insult to King Endrin's memory.
News of the hour. Support Lord Harrowmont at your own peril. Darkspawn will overrun Orzammar within the year if he becomes king.
That's the Royal Palace. So no, I think the Assembly Hall's up here. I think it's a different building. It's this one up here. I find like they're just... I don't know what to call it. Just the lava. Or, no, we're under the surface. So it'd be magma, right? I guess. But just being open and exposed is a little disconcerting. Let me see if there's anything else we need going this way, and then we'll go in the assembly hall. I think this is the last. Oh, that's the shaper. We'll do that first. Don't think that door goes anywhere. It's just a decorative door, not a useful door.
Thief! Who would... Warden, I'm outraged. A thief in the Shapered. What have we been reduced to?
You're right. It probably would be warm, especially near the magma waterfalls, but I guess it also, if it gives off, I don't know if it gives off light. I guess it does, but it would be a good, like, natural light source, or decent, I guess, natural light source below the surface.
I did. He was bald, with the most garish brand across his head. Almost like he took pride in being castless. Imagine. He's probably in the slums somewhere. As if he'd find a buyer for a stolen tome in Dust Town. They couldn't know the value.
kind of like their idea too in their culture of there being like the Shaperit. It's like this one like totally like politically neutral institution that is meant to just kind of like catalog events in their history. I mean, a group like that wouldn't be like totally exempt from or protected from some sort of corruption, but I like the concept, the idea that they are like politically neutral and they just document events as they happen and like without, I guess, without like skewing or manipulating the way they describe events to favor one narrative over another.
Oh, pardon me. Were you looking for a particular volume? Not that I could really help. I don't know the libraries very well. I'm just doing some research. I was looking for something about the Orton Tig. It was lost during the last Blight, and there aren't many records left. They were a noble house once, descended from the Paragon Orton, who composed the grand epic of the Seven Brothers and the Ortonic Symphony. My mother's family believes they were descended from Kalana Orton, who was training in Orzammar when the Tig fell. I'm even named for the house, Orta. Unfortunately, any records would be buried in the Tig's ruins, somewhere in the deep roads. You're from the surface. What do you know about fighting Darkspawn? There aren't even any expeditions planned until they settle this election. Otherwise, you need special permission from the Assembly, or some great lord. A Grey Warden? Mother always said that if anyone could find the Tig, it was the Wardens. I hear Prince Balin and Lord Harrowmont have both been sending out small teams these days. Yes, if you can find the Tig in any records, that could do it. That could prove I'm a noble. If you could. Maybe now that you're looking. It's almost too much to hope.
Wynn really likes that spell.
When I last walked this hall, Endrin was king and Orzammar was at peace. The memories often speak of the swiftness with which change overtakes us. But it is different to see it firsthand. I apologize, Warden. I should not burden a stranger with such thoughts. I am Zebor, the Shaper of Memories. The Grey Warden's visit has been recorded in the memories, along with all who accompany you. That is an odd request, especially for one so new to our city. I thought so. This is not the first time he's made this plea. My answer to Brother Burkle hasn't changed. So I ask you the same. On what basis would you have me insult the ancestors and overturn 2,000 years of tradition? What sort of charities do you mean? I am not certain this is in Orzammar's best interests. Our castes have served us well, but it's possible this service could benefit our people. Very well, he may hold a prayer meeting as he requested, if not build a new temple to his god. At least the words would come from one of our own. Now, is there anything more?
I'm not a big fan of the chantry and the way they kind of... I guess I don't want to spoil anything, but the way they kind of like play into the story, I guess the overarching story across these games. But I am a fan of cultivating and like diversity of any kind, including religious diversity. You don't have to be a religious person. I don't think to see the importance of allowing different people to practice their different beliefs, as long as they're not a danger or harmful to themselves or anybody else. Like that should just, especially like cultural things, like it should just, you know, it should be encouraged and allowed. So in my opinion anyway. So I feel like I don't think it necessarily like has a net positive in this story, like metagaming for a second. I think at the end you find out it wasn't really a success, but the guy was nice and he asked kindly, so I feel like my character would be nice enough to pass on his message.
We were a great empire once, outnumbering even humans and elves. We traded with your Tevinter Imperium, and our land stretched as far in the deep roads as theirs did above. Kal Sharok was capital then, but we lost too many battles. We lost our golems, and we lost our territory. Now the Empire is simply ruined tunnels filled with darkspawn. They were once our highways beneath the mountains. Now the darkspawn claim them and few venture there, except your order, who enter the deep roads when they retire, so they can die slaughtering as many darkspawn as possible. The Paragon Caridin, a smith of unsurpassed genius, invented the golems. For years they were our weapon against the darkspawn. One golem is worth a dozen dwarves in battle, but Caridin's tide is far into the deep roads. When it fell, we lost his secret to creating golems. There are books about it along these walls if you would read more. They are to us what a colony is to surfacers. At the other side of the old empire, during the last blight, the kings of Orzammar knew they couldn't hold everything. They sealed the deep roads, abandoning everyone still trapped in far-flung settlements. It was the only way to survive. Kal Shirak is the only other city to outlast the blight. We only rediscovered them recently, and they still haven't forgiven us.
That would be interesting. I feel like, you know, the dwarfs were, like, the dwarfs in Kal Shirak, they all would have been one people at some point, with the dwarfs in Orzammar, and then elsewhere, you know, in the network of deep roads. But it had been so long, they basically would have grown into two totally different cultures. And it's a shame at this point in the game series you never get to see Kal Shirak or meet dwarves from that other settlement. There is a point later in the series when you get to encounter some dwarves who have kind of have a culture and have a bit of a society that's totally separate from like what you know in Orzammar, but I don't want to spoil that. But it's not like a very, you don't get a lot of information about how or why they came to be the way they are. And they're also all antagonistic when you encounter them, so you don't get to talk to them or anything.
I will settle your mind if I can, Warden. All dwarves who die return to the stone as ancestors, to guide their families forever. But only one every few generations rises to Paragon. A Paragon is a dwarf whose accomplishments change Orzammar so much that the Assembly recognizes they've been born blessed. They are venerated as living ancestors and found a new noble house forever bearing their name. Branka is a Paragon, now and into death. She was born a smith, but her inventions caught the Assembly's eye. Before she had seen 20 years, she created a smokeless coal. It could burn in a cave without vents and no one would choke from it. It earned her Paragon status. She went into the deep roads 2 years ago seeking out secrets of the ancient smiths. She never returned. According to our legends, 7 brothers founded our empire. The youngest, Bloadlik, was the wisest and was chosen king. His children formed the noble caste. The eldest, Giachet, trained his sons to defend their king. They became the warrior caste. Shatgyar founded the artisans. Orzatyar forged our first swords. It was Orzammar who dug the mines that became our city's foundations. The twins Koapar and Noct both founded trading houses, but Noct was wounded in battle. On his recovery, he swore to serve his brother's sons.
Please excuse my yawn.
The casteless descend from criminals and those repudiated by their own families, or who chose to go to the surface and live by human laws. They have no ancestors to guide them and no families to claim them. They should not have been born. Their parents defied their shame and brought cursed children into the world. It's better they die young. Their births are not recorded in the memories. In Orzammar, they do not exist. Is there something more pleasant you wish to discuss?
Yeah, I don't like the caste system. The idea of the caste list, just they pretend they don't exist. There's still people, but I mean that's one of the things you learn Balaam wants to change. He wants to kind of do away with the caste system, and he gets a lot of pushback because that's the way the dwarves have always done things. So the traditionalists don't want to do away with the caste system.
We were a great empire once, outnumbering even humans and elves. We traded with your Tevinter Imperium, and our land stretched as far in the deep roads as theirs did above. Kal Sharok was capital then, but we lost too many battles. We lost our golems, and we lost our territory. I think I already did that one,
I'm sorry.
Now the Empire is simply ruined tunnels filled with darkspawn.
Alright, I think we covered everything.
Your presence here has been recorded in the memories. I wish I knew what significance it has.
Up here, more books. Oh, got a chest. It's probably locked, yeah. Liliana, can you open the chest? They're not gonna count. My friends are very bad at, like, keeping up. They keep... I don't know, maybe they're tired of me running off to explore, so they're like, we'll just wait here. Whenever you're done, you come back. Oh, doesn't Sten have the armor of diligence? He does. So now let's give him the gloves of diligence. No? Oh, they require... Wait, why is he wearing this? He must have had something with us. They gave him a strength boost at one point, and then I took it off, and the game has just, like, not noticed. So we'll have to wait till the next level up, I guess, to do that properly. I'm not going to touch the armor because then he won't have it anymore. I think that's what happened, is I had him equipped with something that gave him a bit of a strength boost. And I put the armor on, and now he doesn't technically qualify to wear it. Or he's wearing something else with a strength penalty. But I'll deal with that later. Let's continue exploring.
As you say.
And now let's go to the Hall of Assembly.
Warden, welcome. It is always a blessing for Orzammar to host your order. I am Vartak Gavorn, top advisor to our good Prince Balin. What news do you bring? Yes, the treaty. I've seen it in the Shaper's libraries. Now the difficulty is that the treaty only compels our king, and we are sadly lacking one of those right now. My prince is the rightful king, but a disappointing number of lords back the upstart Harriman for the throne. If you show your support for Prince Balin, he might be able to assist with your requests. Harriman promised the same portion of his estate to two different Deshers, Lady Dace and Lord Henry. Harriman can't possibly grant it to both of them, but they won't find out until after the vote is cast. I have copies of the promissory notes Harriman gave each of them. Once they see those, they should both reconsider their votes. That's not important. If they ask, say you found them while searching the Shaper's libraries for your treaty. Normally, the Shapers would handle this sort of accusation. They are the scholars who manage our laws, histories, and genealogies. They are the final arbiters of all disputes in Orzammar. Unfortunately, the Shaper of Memories is the most important among them, and his grandfather was Lord Harriman's aunt's first cousin. Obviously, we cannot expect him to offer an unbiased opinion. I guess I can't expect you surfacers to understand the importance of family in Orzammar. The Shaper is biased, and if you want Prince Balin's help, you'll have to show where your loyalties lie. Will you do it? Lady Dace doesn't leave the quarter much, but Lord Helmy's adventurous, likes to spend his time at Tapster's in the Commons. Remember, don't tell them you got these papers from me. You learned of them and drew your own conclusions.
It's a little sketchy, but so is promising the same, like, part of the estate to two people to get their vote. Not really a spoiler, but just kind of stating my intention for this playthrough. I am going to put Balin, or support Balin taking the throne, because kind of for metagame reasons. It's just because of how playing it before, I know that that's really the best option, but it's not an option I feel great about. I feel like if this is one of those cases that's like a little too close to like real life elections or leadership changeovers. Like neither option is great. They both kind of suck. But you still have to kind of like choose and make the best choice possible, even if there is no best choice, period.
Your mind has gone to dust if you think we would pass such a writ. Half our houses would go broke without the surface trade.
The proposal is only effective until we have a king to ensure we are respected by the surfacers.
Leaving you conveniently positioned to take over all contracts. I'll see your head on a pike first.
Deshers, lords and ladies of the Assembly. I've already doubled the guard to prevent violence. Must I summon more?
Steward Bandalore, Balin's sympathizers are tying our hands with trivialities. They may as well open us to the sky.
I suggest we put the matter to a vote.
And I suggest you have a taste of my family's mace.
Enough! The Assembly is in recess until the members can regain control of their emotions.
Can you imagine if, like, Congress took a recess every time that the Congress people needed to regain control of their emotions? They would get even less done. They would be on break more than they would be in session. Sometimes, for some of them. We're not going to get political here on my stream. I like to think of what I do on either channel streaming wise as being hopefully a bit of a break and a vacation for whatever else is going on out in the real world. So I don't like to I try to keep it very like, I think we can all relate to the idea of our politicians causing problems and fighting with each other instead of getting stuff done and having difficulty making a good choice when it comes to an election or deciding what the best choice is. And beyond that, I don't like to really unpack that kind of stuff here. And I feel like if any of you watch enough of my streams, you probably can get a pretty good handle which way I lean, but we are never going to like get into that here because like I said, I like both channel streams to be a bit of a reprieve or a vacation from all that kind of real world stuff that maybe we all need a break from at some point, especially right now. Those of you from outside the US probably know, but if you don't, we're in the middle, like, or towards the end of like a big election cycle. We'll have a presidential election in November, so it's kind of a lot right now, and I don't want to bring any more noise on that side of things into the mix, so we're not going to get into it. But I do enjoy like these fictional like political stories because like I said, I think it's a way to like kind of take yourself out of your own perspective and your own like way of thinking about things or even doing things and see it from another angle in like a safe, controlled environment. So I always find that really interesting in these games when you get into like the political stuff or like where the story or the quests are related to like political intrigue. I think it's kind of fun.
I heard there was a Grey Warden here. I am Dulan Forrender, second to Lord Harrowmont, King Endrin's own choice as successor. Word is spreading that the surface may suffer a blight. It is shameful we are not in a better position to help. That may be, and that is a terrible risk for the surface. But even if the world would end tomorrow, Lord Harrowmont cannot ignore Balin today. He cannot afford to trust anyone of unproven loyalties. If you wish to show you have no loyalty to Balin, then work against him in Harrowmont's name. Balin is hosting a proving today, supposedly to honor his father's memory. The Deshers take it very seriously, and unfortunately, Balin found some way to blackmail or intimidate House Harrowmont's best fighters into stepping down. The Proving is a contest of the best warriors in Orzammar. By fighting, they show who has the ancestors' favor. If you were to enter the Proving as Lord Harrowmont's champion, it would prove your loyalty beyond a doubt. Balin would never work with anyone who humiliated him in that way. Harrowmont would have no fear of meeting with you then.
So, trying not to metagame for a moment, I feel like my character, she's been presented with, like, concrete proof that was, like, maybe obtained by, like, not the most above board means that, that Harrowmont might be deceiving some of his constituents, or the, what do they call them? The Deshers. They're kind of like senators, you know, that are going to vote on who the new king is. So I feel like she's leaning towards supporting Balin at the moment because she's, you know, if Harrowmount's dishonest, then he might agree to uphold the dwarfs into the treaty and then, like, renege on that. I don't know. But how do I get into political intrigue? Just showed up in town. Yeah, we just showed up and everyone's like, here are our political problems. Please solve them. This is one of those games, right? It's kind of like, it's the Skyrim effect a little bit in this one. Like, I always joke about Skyrim that, like, you're just kind of a nobody who just shows up everywhere and they're like, oh good, this rando's here, they can solve our problems. And, like, you're just some random prisoner, but all of a sudden you're like, you're the Dragonborn, you're gonna be like the head of the Mages College, you're gonna be head of the Assassin Guild, head of the Companions, like, everybody, like, you're everything but High King of Skyrim or High Queen of Skyrim. So I, like, there's like a meme of, like, the one guy sitting there, or the one character sitting there, and it's like the leader of the Companions, leader of the Assassin's Guild, etc., are having a meeting, and it's just the Dragonborn. But it's a little bit like, it's weak story writing. It's fine for that kind of RPG. I don't really play Skyrim for the story. I play Skyrim for, like, the immersive experience, and which is great. I've been playing that game more or less since it came out, and I still play it, like, off and on. I have this one, like, I played it so many times now I can just dip in and out, like, after months. I have this one playthrough I've been working on for, like, going on 3 years. I just keep playing the same one, trying to see if I can do, like, everything you can possibly do and level up as many times as you possibly can, which was when they updated the level up system, I think it became, like, almost infinite. But yeah, it's a little bit of that. Like, you just show up and they're like, oh, here are all our problems. Please fix them for us. But really, the story beat is that we need the king of the dwarfs to honor the treaty that the dwarves have with the Grey Wardens. But technically they have no king at the moment because the king just died and there's a succession issue. So they can't honor the treaty because the king has to honor the treaty, and currently there is no king. And our options are Balin, who is the youngest son of the king who just died. So he's Balin Aidukin. His father was Indrin Aidukin, who just died. And then the other contender is, I don't remember his first name, but Harrowmont, who was, like, the king's best friend. And supposedly, when the king was on his deathbed, he named Harrowmont his successor over Balin. And I guess there were, I don't know how many people heard him say that. I don't remember. I think you get a little bit more of that information when you play the Dwarf Origin. But traditionally, it's someone from, like, the Aidukin bloodline, or the, you know, so it's like, but also Balin is, like, more progressive, so people are resisting that. But Harrowmount's more traditional, but, like, is not the traditional pick. So, like, we kind of just stepped in it, and our motivation to help solve this is to have someone who can honor the treaty and give us the help we need with the Darkspawn. I hope that clarifies it if any of you were unsure, but also catches you up if you weren't here at the beginning of stream. I'm going to tell him, I'm going to try to be diplomatic until I just don't want to pick sides.
But I'm afraid your only choice is to wait until there's a winner. Lord Harrowmont cannot risk his life working with someone of unproven loyalties. If you change your mind, let me know. The Proving is this afternoon, and Lord Harrowmont could certainly use you on his side.
I'm going to kind of investigate both sides of it, but just trying not to metagame. Feel like my character would be leaning a little more Balin, just with what we know so far. Can I go in the palace yet? Oh, I could just like roam the palace? Is that allowed? Whoa. Well, I didn't care for that.
More enemies ahead!
Fireball them. Oh, nope. And I'm dead. Where are my friends? Doing absolutely nothing. Just hanging back here, doing nothing. Thanks, guys. I'm gonna get Win to revive me. If I can see my body. There it is. I can't find my cursor again.
As you say, it is begun. It shall be.
What's happening? I clearly hit the wrong button. What? Oh, I'm hitting the C button on accident. I'm just... That's what happens when I haven't played this game in a minute.
I shall
just mess up.
It is begun. There's no glory in bloodshed.
What has happened to my friends? Take potion, take potion, take potion. Oh no. Leliana's just doing nothing. Can I leave? Can't do this while in combat. I can't resurrect my friends either. Oh, I really don't want to find out how far it's going to set me back when I have to reload. I forgot about this little encounter. There we go. Get up, Liliana. Oh, they're all gone?
Here comes trouble.
Oh, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna set me back so far. I would have saved, but I forgot about this. I thought we were just doing peaceful things today. Like, just exploring things.
Yes, of course.
Well, please don't let it be too bad. Please don't let it be too bad. Please don't let it be too bad. Okay, no, it's not too bad. Alright, it's not too bad.
I heard there was a Grey Warden here. I am Dulan Forrender, second to Lord Harrowmont, King Endrin's own choice as successor. Word is spreading that the surface may suffer a blight. It is shameful we are not in a better position to help.
I click through this.
That may be. He cannot afford to trust anyone of unproven loyalties. The Deschers take it very seriously. And unfortunately, Balin found the proving is a contest. Balin would never work with anyone who humiliated him in that way. Harold, then I'm afraid to change your mind.
Okay, now I'll be prepared for that when we go in. I feel like we need to, now that, well, I've forgotten about this particular fight/encounter, and I know it relates to something else, so I feel like we might need to just trigger it so that we... Why are my friends refusing to follow? Is it... Okay, so you saw I took the hold position off. Maybe I'm misinterpreting it, because I thought, like, you click it to make it do that thing, but maybe it shows the status. So maybe I've been doing it backwards. And it's my own fault. Let's save before we do this fight again. I've already got my armor. Let me go ahead and do Arcane Shield. Look at him stun. Right away. could use some help. Why are these other guys, these guards, just like watching this happen and not helping?
It is begun. It shall be done.
Good on you, Warden. You caught them in the act.
What do you mean? Good.
Times drive people to strange things.
You all were just standing over here, just watching me fight these guys that broke into your palace. Like nothing was happening, and then oh no, what happened? Oh, good that you helped us. No, you could have helped. Rude. The stone bats are kind of cool.
I have heard much about the halls of the Dwarven Kings, but the stories do it no justice. It is so strange, harsh, yet beautiful. And have you seen those tiny pig-like burrowing animals? They are adorable. I wish I could have one as a pet. But they must be hard to catch and... Oh, just ignore me. I'm so silly sometimes. Let's just go.
I don't think we've seen a nug yet. She's talking about... Oh, we saw the nugs in the cage in dinner room. I am the problem solver. I have to solve everybody's problems everywhere all the time. That is what happens. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe this is not a door we can go in. That's a bookcase, not a door. Chest?
Yes, my friend?
It shall be done.
Where is it? I can't find it. Where is it? I can't find it. Well, I know it's here somewhere. Why can't I find it? Oh wait, I thought I saw it. I can't attack until I find this stupid cursor. Where is it? There it is. I finally found it. That is also definitely a nug on that table that is dead. Hopefully Liana didn't see it.
As you say.
When you can't die. Okay, when... Oh, we don't have potions. Why can't win Revivify? Or it's not Revivify, is it? Oh no. Oh, your face is scary. I don't like it. I think we're just gonna not touch the glass phylactery then. Wait, Wynn's on her feet? I thought she died. Nah, not anymore. I did just say we're just gonna skip that. There's a reason why we have to open those phylacteries and fight those revenants, but I don't think we have to do it now, so I can just come back to that later. We'll take the loot, but I'm not gonna...
Oh. What's on your mind?
Didn't do that. Sorry, Wynn.
It is no trouble.
Take the stuff and not touch the phylactery right now. Wait, I think that's not where it was. When I find it, I'll just do the leave the phylactery alone. Oh no, it's like here. We'll deal with that later. The Revenants are very difficult to beat. They're very difficult fights, most all of them. Especially when you're like me and you're still just fumbling your way around the keyboard controls. I like how we're just roaming the palace and no one really cares. I think that's all we can see right now. I think we can see more of it later once Balin's willing to give us an audience. What is that noise? That sounds like someone just slamming a door repeatedly just because.
Lord Balin's impending marriage to a castless proves his dedication to change. No dwarf is without word.
We need to go talk to that lady Dace. She was outside one of these buildings. There she is.
What do you want? Ah, I suppose you're the Grey Warden everyone's talking about.
Let's see.
It's fascinating the surface has an entire order dedicated to fighting Darkspawn. Down here, that's just what fighting means. But I'm sure it's more difficult on the surface. It must be much harder to find them.
Yeah, I think I'll try to play it kind of a neutral way, just like here you should see these.
Well, this isn't exactly a surface broadsheet. Where did you get these? Never mind. It is true enough, but there's nothing I can do about it. This deal was made on behalf of our entire house. Only my father can revoke it. He is leading a Deep Roads expedition, trying to secure an ancient Tig. It's unlikely he'll be back before the election, but perhaps this vote is important enough for you to brave the tunnels to tell him? The Dace family would be in your debt. He was searching an old Idukan site. He left me with this map, in case his expedition never returned. I'll give you a pass as well. Usually, no one is allowed past the front lines. Does that mean you'll go? So Balin's victory means enough for you to risk your life. How interesting.
Right, and then Helmi
voice in support of Lord Harrowmont,
is
the
in
one true king
the bar,
of
the
and
pub,
our
the tavern. I can't decide on which word I wanted to use, and I stumbled through it. But I think we should talk to Harrowmont because we haven't talked to him yet. Oh no, he's the... Well, let's see what happens when we talk to him.
Do you see how things lie, Warden? Lord Harrowmont cannot trust you unproven, but he welcomes a good faith gesture. Do not tarry. Proving starts this afternoon.
I didn't choose that other option because I don't know if maybe I'll save and try it and then I can reload, because I don't know what happens if I tell him that I have proof that Harrowmont's a cheat. I don't know if I lose the ability to finish that quest. So
do you see how things lie, Warden? Lord Harrowmont cannot trust you unproven, but he welcomes a good faith gesture. That you spoke to him even after our discussion is not reassuring. So have you decided to earn my lord's trust, or will you throw your lot in with the snakes?
Okay, well, first of all, I spoke to him before I spoke to you. He approached me, and...
Do not tarry.
I'm allowed to talk to people.
Afternoon.
And I don't like... I would be skeptical personally of somebody who didn't feel good about me, like, trying to get all the full picture, you know? Like, to see both sides. They're both kind of fishy, though, aren't they? I don't think there's anything
It shall be done
in here, but we're exploring anyway. And opening chests and taking people's things.
As you like.
I guess these people don't mind that I'm just opening chests and taking stuff.
You must be under great
strain with the blight upon the land. I will pray to the stone for you.
Here I am.
Decorative door, not a real door. Don't think we can go in there unless we're, again, having an audience with Harrowmont. So let's go show the papers to Lord Helmy. Helmy? That's right.
2 years tomorrow. By all the holy sodding ancestors, how can you people just ignore that?
Branka didn't go alone, Ogren. She took the whole house, everybody but you. So just get over to Tapster's and drown yourself already. You know as well as I do that's how this always ends.
You think I'm afraid of some cub warrior who's barely off the teat? Ha!
You lift a weapon or attack a single citizen in Orzammar, and you're stripped of your caste and exiled. Even you can't have forgotten that. Get out of here before I call a guardsman.
I believe Ogren is voiced by Steve Blum, who voices Grunt in Mass Effect, but I could have that wrong.
Can you believe it? Ogren's barely even warrior caste anymore, and he just clomps in here like he's entitled. Ogren's a drunken wretch. He comes up here 2-3 times a week, hounding people to lead some suicidal rescue mission after Branka. Gets quite violent about it. I'd be scared if they hadn't practically gelded him after he killed young Lord Mino. All Mino's son said was how unlikely it was that a bunch of Smiths would return safely from the deep roads. Which is true. Ancestors preserve us. That's what the warrior caste is for. But Ogren claimed it was an insult to a paragon. Next thing, they're in a duel to first blood to defend Branka's honor. Then Ogren starts screaming and runs him through. It was a huge scandal. Ogren should have been executed, but he'd won honors in the deep roads. Instead, they stripped him of all weapons and forbid him from engaging in fights within city limits. If he breaks the decree, he'll be exiled. She's still his wife, isn't she? Even if she took their entire house into the deep roads and abandoned him. Well, before she was a paragon, she was just a smith, and Ogren was one of the best warriors of his generation. Chasing some old treasure, she was quite secretive. Outright rude, really. She said she never asked to found a house, that she didn't care about politics, and that we were too self-absorbed to defeat the Darkspawn. She actually threatened anyone who said they'd come after her. She invented a smokeless fuel that let the Smith caste increase their output by nearly 1/3. Deaths from the Black Lung also dropped. The Assembly said she had the favor of the ancestors and declared her a paragon. They moved Branka, Ogren, and all their relatives to the noble caste and founded a new house in her name. It's been 2 years since Branka left. No one has ever stayed in the deep roads that long and survived. The search teams who went out found nothing, but Ogren wants to keep risking lives searching. If you see any guardsmen, tell them Ogren was at it again.
So, I think I'm about done for today's stream. I'm just ready to call it a day. I definitely can't handle any more fights. That was kind of sad what I just did. I didn't do a very good job with that one, like, ambush fight. And we need to heal up our injuries, because I think every single party member has 2.
So, I've been hearing rumors that a certain wine merchant is falling behind on his payments.
I can't imagine what you mean. I paid my expenses. What about the expenses your good friend Jarvia incurs when providing your protection? It's not easy ensuring nothing bad happens, that no one decides to just burn everything in your store.
My store! Please, I don't have much. Business isn't good. People are scared. Tell Jarvia I'll get her money.
Jarvia's not happy with your promises, old man. Now let's go inside and see what you've been holding back.
Well, I'm gonna handle this first.
This is all I have right now. I could get more if I sell something.
Well, well. Looks like we have a visitor. Friend of yours?
Get out of here. This is private business. Please, don't get involved with this. You don't know what they're like.
Then allow me to make some introductions. These are dangerous times in Orzammar, stranger. Lucky us, the merciful Jarvia is offering protection from the chaos. You're wearing some fancy stuff there. Might make you a target. So if you want the Carta's guarantee of safety, it's yours for the reasonable price of 10 gold sovereigns. Or I can't say what might happen. Whoa, whoa! All right, you win. I'm not gonna die for 10 lousy sovereigns.
Alright, so we need to talk to him about that. And then I think after that we'll go... I think we can go to the pub without engaging in a fight. So we'll show the document to Lord Helmy. And after that, we're going to take a quick detour to go to camp so that we can all... Because when you visit camp, your injuries all get healed. And then probably do a little bit of chats with friends, just a little bit. And then we'll come back and continue doing Orzammar things. But Orzammar, I feel like to do and see everything takes the longest. I don't know. It's up there with like the Mage Circle because like there's the fade bit that takes a while too. But it's going to take a few streams to do everything and head to the, because we have to go to the deep roads maybe multiple times depending on how good I am at like picking up quests at the right time. But that's what we'll do next time. I'm ready to go to bed. I'm tired and I'm not concentrating super well. So we'll pick it up here tomorrow. So let me save. And tomorrow, hopefully lighting and the camera box and all that will look a little bit better. I'm experimenting with it still, and it looked okay when I set it up yesterday, but I still had lots of daylight coming in from the window on the other side of the room, and I once again forgot to account for the fact that I wouldn't have that when I stream on this channel. So I'm going to move my light around a little bit, and I'm going to make a few more adjustments and try and make it look a little bit better. So I appreciate your patience with that. Oh, you're so welcome, Barry. It's good to see you on both streams today. Yeah, I hope I wake up mentally refreshed too. I think I will, since like everything is mostly like handled now. It just was like, it was just a lot. Again, if you want to recap on the crazy week I've kind of had, that's over on main channel, the stream I did today, but it's totally optional. It's nothing super exciting. Just had a lot of things kind of come up at the same time. But yeah, I'll be live on main channel tomorrow at... It saved, didn't I? See, this is... Let me just check. Yes. Yeah, that's where we are. Okay, good. But I hope you all have a great night, and I will see you again soon.